I'm
Good. How are
good. How are you?
you?
I'm good.
Your hair looks good.
Thank you. Just got it done this weekend. So, and then she blew it out. We're trying a new product on it. My neighbor gave me. So,
Ooh, that's
yeah,
fun.
K18 or something. I don't know. So I get to get
Oh
like
yeah,
some more
yeah,
blowouts.
the
Hmm.
mask. I I
Yeah.
uh I like that mask.
Yes. So
That's been good for me. We're both at home right now, but
nice.
I'm in one of the guest beds and he's in the living room.
We're at home too, me and Rocky.
Oh, Mr. Rocky. I love it.
Mhm.
Well, good. So I guess we've already got some people hopping on. Um,
Yes.
so I am Halle McCrory, agent in San Angelo, Texas, and team lead for Halle's Homes, known for doing 90 homes a year in a small town. And I've got my co-host Casey Stiers, the downtown guru and
Woo.
realtor in Raleigh, North Carolina, but she services all of North Carolina, does residential, commercial, any type of investments you want to hit. Uh, she's the go-to girl there. And I've got
Yep.
my husband on today, so this is a really fun week for us. He is a builder here in San Angelo, Texas, as well. He does some stuff outside of San Angelo too, and actually will be expanding here soon into the Dallas market and into
It's
the
exciting.
Tyler market as well. So just an hour and a half east of Dallas, Colin?
Yep.
Yeah. So very exciting times for him as he expands. And yeah, I just thought it would be fun to bring him on and talk about. I guess lately with my team, we've been talking about how to go after potential builders or investors, especially investors who flip houses. And who better to talk about that than the number one builder in
Exactly.
yeah. So how many homes a year do you do, Colin? Like, I think on average it's about 65.
Yeah. Well, we've kind of grown over the last 8 or 9 years, but the last few years we've done 50 or 60 or so between spec homes, custom homes, and flip homes. And now we're actually starting to wholesale. I'm not really on that side of the business, but we're adding quite a bit of wholesale into that as well.
So do you want to tell everyone what you handle in the business?
I really manage all of our operations on the construction side of things. So, me and the superintendent kind of work hand in hand, and I've actually got a new superintendent starting with me. Let's see, February 1st. So, I'm really, my job description will be transitioning into more of business development, sales, and budgeting. And I will have somebody in the field handling what I'm currently handling, managing contractors and schedules and budgets. So, really, from here on out, I will be forming the schedules, creating the budgets, and making the sales, and having my superintendent head all of the field operations. So currently, I'm wearing a few hats, but
I would
trying to
say.
delegate some task out to where I'm not doing three people's jobs myself. So looking forward to kind of passing on some responsibility to um, a new employee of mine. So
Yay. Well, okay. And I think it's important for you to talk about maybe the history of the company. So what year did you start? How many homes did you do that year? And then
yeah, so we pretty much started from scratch. Let's see, what was that? 2015 or 2016. I was actually a safety supervisor for an oil company in Midland, and I didn't really enjoy living out there. I didn't love my job, and so I was talking to my dad one day, and he's been a developer and builder for quite some time now at that point, and he just kind of planted the seed with me that he saw an opportunity in the market, and thought it would be a good opportunity for me and him to start something up. So I ended up quitting my oil and gas job in Midland and moved to San Angelo, where we started, I think, our first year. We did maybe 3 flip homes, and we were really, he had always built in Kerrville and didn't really have too many banking connections or contractor connections here. So after our first year, we did 3 homes, I think, didn't make very much money, and ended up connecting with a local broker here, and we ended up partnering with him, and we started flipping houses with him. And at that point in time, my dad had a building partner where I didn't really have anything to do with the construction side of things other than the flip homes. So he was building with another partner, and me, the broker, and my dad were just doing flip homes. And I think our second year in business, our first year with our partner, I think we did 15 or so. And then year after year, we went from 15 to 25 to 35 to 45, and we're doing about 60 or so a year now. But yeah, we've just kind of gradually grown over the years, and figured out how to structure things, and made mistakes along the way, and are continuing to grow and figure it out.
That's the best way to learn, is through your mistakes.
I mean, just get out there and do it and figure it out. And there's been some growing pains. I mean, we grew too fast there for a while and kind of outgrew our structure, and had to make some adjustments, whether it came to bringing on a full bookkeeping staff or project managers, just as the pain points kind of, I guess, showed themselves, we started delegating, and yeah, so it's definitely been quite the journey, and we're still kind of on the same path of growth, and yeah, it's been fun.
I think especially during these last 2.5, 3 years, with the market being so good too. I think that's helped a lot on top of all your hard work.
Yeah, there was a lot of luck involved in our growth, but I mean, you kind of create your own luck by getting out there and doing
You
it.
got out there and you're doing it.
Yes. Yeah. No, it's been a lot of long hours for him. I can vouch for the hard work he's put in. But it's like, depending on what your model is, the market, you kind of have to change around as the market changes too. So that's why you guys incorporated wholesaling as interest rates rose last summer. And now I guess now we can kind of talk about our markets too a little bit. I don't know about you, Casey. I guess you've been pretty stable the whole time, since Raleigh's such an amazing.
I mean, Raleigh and Wilmington, like I said last week, we're in multiple offers. It seems like on every house in Wilmington, and they're gone. So it's not like, we're just a growing state in general.
Mm-hmm.
So.
See, and I think Texas is too, and we're no longer getting the multiple offer situations, but I think those will come back here in the near future, considering CPI's down for the 6th consecutive month. From the talks, inflation's possibly.
So have you got to the point where you're giving cruise ships to agents yet? The same, like, do you remember back when the last time everything went south with the market? New builders were giving agents anything and everything just to bring people in. Here's a new Louis. Here's a cruise ship. Like,
yeah,
or not
I need a Louis. Come on.
We're still really, I mean, we're not getting the multiple offers and over asking, but we're still able to sell property and maintain a good cost per foot. It's just, and I guess it's kind of situational. We had quite a bit of inventory out there when things started kind of going crazy with rates, and we got a little nervous, and rather than sitting around and waiting to see what the market was going to do, we noticed it was slowing down and it was looking like it was going to continue to do so. We made the decision to hold most of our properties as rentals. I would say we held probably 70% of the inventory we have, just solely due to the fact that we operate with banks, and days are dollars, and we weren't sure if we were going to be able to sell product or if we were going to sit on houses for 6-8 months. And rather than taking the risk of seeing what the market was going to do, since we didn't know, we went ahead and made the decision to rent most of our properties. And it's kind of, I mean, we're in the market of affordability, and in our particular market, that's a very popular price point for rentals and lease options and Airbnbs. So I think we were fortunate to be in the market that we're in, because when you get at those higher price points in our particular market, you can't really cash flow those type of properties. So we've been able to hold on to most of what we had, and it's all cash flowing well, and we look to cash out on those here in the coming years. But it was just one of those things where we didn't want to take the risk and get eaten up by interest. So we decided to make them rentals and pay the bills and make our money at a later date.
So commissions for agents. I know here a lot of the new builds, when things went crazy, that was the first thing they cut down to, like 1%, or either all only offered us like
We
$1,000.
haven't seen that. We've stayed, or unless Halle has, but personally, I mean, we've been kind of at the standard 3 and 3, and we.
Oh, ours is
No, 2.5
2.5 here.
Oh,
I was gonna say ours is 2.5
okay.
here. I was like, I'm going to get
2.5,
the license in Texas.
2.5. Okay, so, but really where we saw the change was sellers' concessions and price improvements, which we didn't have to budge much off price, and it's really situational. Every builder is in a different situation, depending upon I guess what their financial goals are, or how much inventory they have and how much risk they have. But with us, we had a lot of inventory, and we didn't want to sit around and wait and see what was going to happen. Therefore, we rented. But we did some price improvements. I mean, we would come down 10, 15,000 off asking to move a house, or offer 10 to 15,000 and sellers concessions, whether that be buying down the rate or things like that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
What's the largest community you've ever built? Sorry, I've got lots of questions for him.
Largest community. So we've never really been developers. We don't have communities. We have infill development lots, which are kind of entry-level homes just scattered across town. We'll have a block of 4 to 6, or and what was your question again?
I was gonna say, so you're like more custom, like they buy the lots and then you build the house?
No, so I just have, or we have lots scattered all across town, and since we've been in the house flipping business, we have to generate leads to purchase those flip homes, and through lead generation on that side of the business, it's generated quite a few leads for raw land, but they're
Okay.
individual lots. So we'll have some where we'll have 4 or 5 in a row on a street, but we really don't have any communities. The most I do on like a block is like 4 to 5 next door to each other, but we're really scattered across town everywhere.
Okay.
And our spec homes, we really haven't pre-sold anything, which is something I'm looking to change. We've pretty much, I mean, it's been a bull market.
That was going to be
so-
my next question. How do you
yeah,
do
so
pre-sale?
with
So-
the market, we were a little spoiled, and rather than dealing with customers throughout the build and changes and paint colors and all of that, we
No
built
way. They don't
what
just come
we
check
thought
and
would
happy?
sell. And I mean, same lighting, same paint, same countertop, same everything. And it, like I said, we were spoiled and things were selling. I mean, the day they went on the market, and yeah, we knew we were putting a good product out there. Therefore, we would just wait to list them, and as soon as they would go on the market, they would sell. But that's really not the case any longer. So we're looking to make some changes and kind of standardize some options up front to where we can pre-sell these properties, but there's not too many options out there to where they're fully customizing the home. So
Okay.
kind of a model home, I guess you would say, with 3 to 4 options in certain areas.
Okay. So Halle?
Yeah, so I was gonna say, Collin, why don't we talk about, so like the point of our show is providing hacks, tips, and tricks for real estate agents. I would like for you to kind of talk through the pros for you as a builder to use an agent, whether that be like listing or paying a buyer's agent. Like why, what to you would be a pro for having an agent?
Because a lot of people don't think they need agents when they come to new builds.
Well, and it really is situational. But so, and I guess to kind of reword the question, I think is what are the pros of using a buyer's agent? Because normally your builders are going to have a representative. When a potential customer has an agent, so first of all, I think realtors can help that person find the right builder, as long as that realtor is experienced in that market and knows the builders well, because there's good builders and there's bad builders. But I think they can really help point you in the right direction, because there's builders that build entry-level homes, there's builders that build mid-grade homes or luxury homes. And if you're, say, a client from out of town and don't know anybody, have no history on any builders, if you can locate a good buyer's rep that is established in the market and knows the builders, I think it's good that they can kind of place you with someone that builds a quality home, is trustworthy, and can kind of build at your price point. So I think that's a plus. I think a big thing is financing. I know Halle is very involved with a lot of the mortgage lenders here, and she knows the ins and outs of a lot of different loan programs. And I think that's definitely a benefit, as guidance on the financing side of things. And then also, if you're building a custom home, your realtor, I mean, they can help you with finish levels on, like, I mean, getting your money, not overbuilding, and getting the right layout, making the right selections, to make sure you're not overspending in certain areas, and you're building kind of to the, I guess, quality of that neighborhood, so you're not kind of overdoing it.
Like making sure that the house will appraise
Yeah,
for the finishes that you're doing.
yeah, and also, I mean, just for resale, realtors know what sells, and I think they can guide a customer, to help them create the home that they want, but also a home that's marketable in the future. And I know everybody says homes are going to be their forever home, but on average, I think it's 13 years. That people stay in their home. So you're going to sell your home at some point in time. So I think it's valuable, that you take into consideration what makes a property marketable, and what brings the best money in certain areas. And I think that's a great area for a realtor to guide you in when you're going through the home building process. But like, say, so I'm a spec home builder. Halle represents us, and she has, and this is situational too, because some people are upfront and honest, but there's also builders and realtors out there that aren't upfront and honest. So I would say, if you're going to a production builder or spec home builder, I would say 80% of the time it's good to have your own representation, because that builder's realtor has the builder's interest in mind, and they're not, let's see, what's the word for it? They're not really responsible to be your fiduciary. And if you bring on your own representation, you have someone there that is responsible for your finances, and they care to take care of you and not the interest of the builder. So
Yeah, they don't have your best interests at heart. They're there to protect the builder. So.
Now, I will say I always do, because I can't go to sleep at night if I don't treat
You have a
everybody
conscience.
equally, but that's just not always the case. So I would suggest probably 80% of the time it's best to have your own representation.
I think a lot of people think that they're going to get a better deal without coming without their own representation.
Yeah,
I hear it all the time.
Yeah,
that's what my friends and then they'll get into the process, and then they start calling me, and I'm like, I'm not making money on this now. Like,
yeah, and I also think, I mean, a realtor just makes life easier on you, whether you're a client from out of town and you're not able to check on the progress of the home, or the builder's not communicating well. They're there, kind of eyes and ears. They're there to communicate with you. Or if there's problems with the builder, they can communicate. They take a bunch of pressure off the customer, to where they can handle all of the communication for the most part, with the exception of like selecting fixtures. But like throughout the process, I mean, dependent upon how valuable the client's time is, I mean, if they've got all the free time in the world, I guess it's not as valuable. But your realtor really takes a lot of time and stress out of it for you, handling a lot of the communication. And even after the fact, say you have a warranty issue after you move in, you contact your realtor, they handle it with the builder and communicate through it for you. So
it's our job to handle all the hassle and all the
mess. And so it really takes all the hassle out of your life.
And lets you enjoy the fun parts of building.
Which building a home can be it can be stressful. It's most
No
people's
way.
largest investment, and there's I mean, depending on whether it's a custom or a spec home, but like on the custom home side of things, there's a million selections. There's delays, there's mistakes, and it's, as a builder, I'm used to it, and I don't really get uptight as problems arise, because really you're always going to have problems. And I think that's another reason that a realtor can be beneficial, is setting the expectations for the
Upfront,
customer.
explaining that things are going to come
Yeah,
up.
and
Like, don't
if a,
expect us to run smooth.
yeah, and if a
If it
realtor's
is, we might.
Yeah, and if a realtor's gone through that process, they're aware that, hey, it's not always smooth sailing, but it's okay. Everything at the end of this, as long as you're with a reputable builder, there might be a mistake, but at the end of the day, it'll be taken care of, and you should have really never sweat it. So I think the expectations is also big for realtors representing customers. So.
Can I add
But
one thing too?
yeah,
Obviously, realtors are going to help with marketing too. A lot of times we pay for all the photography, videography, drone footage, open houses, stuff like that. But I think what builders don't think about too is how that marketing actually can help build a builder's brand too. And not that builders always care about brands, but I think that will be more of a trend going forward for builders, as we see, like I know Colin and I follow like AFT Construction has a great brand, Z Properties, and they do really well, and people want their homes, a lot of times from their marketing and their branding. Highland Homes is another great example. And I think realtors, having a lot of a realtor's job is market, we're basically home marketers, right? I think we can help builders build their brand and therefore their reputation as well.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think on that, Colin?
I agree to an extent. Those companies really focus in-house on their marketing, and they're more custom home builders.
Yes. Yeah, those specifically, yes.
But yes, I definitely agree. Let's say a production builder that builds a bunch of spec homes or track homes or whatever it might be. I think it's definitely valuable to have the right realtor that can get your product out there and help really just market your name and company and brand and what you stand for. And I think the main responsibility is on the builder to do so, but I think it's definitely beneficial for the realtor to do their part as well.
Mm-hmm.
Love it. So should
Yeah.
we talk about some cons too?
Well, yeah, and like all of this, it's so situational. I mean, it really, it's very situational, but I'll give you an example. So, I made some notes on this. So,
Rocky said no cons.
yeah, and like over the last few years, a good home has been so hard to come by just due to the demand in the market that if you go directly to a builder or the representative of the builder, and you for sure know that they're a reputable company. Pretty much you're not going to get the inside info in a hot market, like because homes were selling as soon as they would go on the market. But if your realtor, say the buyer's agent, is just searching through the MLS and nothing's available, you can't find a home. You go directly to the seller's representation, and it can be risky, but as long as they're a trustworthy builder and seller's agent, you can get access to homes that nobody else has access to. So that was very prevalent over the last few years, considering that there was not a whole lot to look at. But I think that was definitely something that was beneficial to buyers, to work directly with the builder and their agent, because they were getting access to homes that other realtors were not getting access to. So I think that could be possibly a con of working with a buyer's agent. Let's see.
And then obviously the fact of, I mean, the price of a home has the commissions built into it. I mean, that's the biggest one to me, but it's whether you see that as worth it for your legal protection and, kind of going down that road. So,
yeah. Well, and also, so we're in the market of affordability, so there's not a whole lot of wiggle room. The margins are not huge, and so 3% on someone buying an entry-level home, say going off an FHA loan, 3% makes a big difference. And I've run into this quite a few times, to where that 3% makes the difference in getting the finish level or just the accessories in the home that they really wanted, compared to them not being able to fit it in their budget. So with me, on like my entry level custom homes, I push customers to kind of stay away from realtors, and we guide our customers to not overbuild, to kind of build to the neighborhood, and we've got good experience in making sure that I guess you would say that people just aren't overdoing their home and building to the correct price per foot. But I think on a higher price home, you can afford to use representation with a buyer's agent, but like on an entry level custom home, that 2.5% to 5% really eats into your build budget.
yeah.
So.
Okay. Well, maybe, depending on the situation, it's like if we're just helping with contract stuff, and maybe not so much like helping to choose out different finishes, it's a lower percentage, because then it's less. Then realtors,
which
have
really
on
those, I would suggest doing like just a flat fee, rather than a pretty much a referral fee, is how I would put it. But
they would still have someone guiding them, like a third party, someone on their team that has a fiduciary duty to send the right advice.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
So my next question, what, and maybe don't think of me as your wife, or as you go, I know you are about to look into realtors, and Tyler, let's say, what do you as a builder look for in an agent that you want representing you?
I look for an agent, let's see, that is well known, that has experience representing builders, that markets well, and is really just established. But that's my main thing, is just being established. Like I'm going into a market in Tyler that I have no clue about. So I need someone that's been in that market for a long time, that sells a bunch of product in that market and can tell me where I'm going to get the best bang for my buck building. So,
Okay.
yeah, so I just look for someone that's established in that market, that's well reviewed, well known, and has experience representing builders.
Maybe, and what type of like services would you hope they would, I guess, offer?
Services, as in, I'm not sure if I quite
Like,
grasped that.
so when I talk to my agents about picking up buyers or investors who flip, like maybe offer to volunteer to hold open houses on their houses that they're building or ones they already have done. I personally offer free photography, videography, drone footage, things like that.
Um, I don't really know the answer to that question.
Well, I guess then you would want an agent who knows the things that they need to do to get a home
To
sold.
push it out there and get you the
Yeah.
most offers on it. 'Cause
Yeah, and
ultimately, you want multiple offers. So
that
So an
really
agent
just,
who already can tell you everything you need to do.
yeah, and that comes from being established, uh, and like I said, I'm looking for a large producer who's established, who represents builders, pretty much a very experienced realtor who has a proven track record.
So what could a newer agent or someone who's trying to break into the building market, you know, is there anything you could think of that might impress you for those agents watching that want to break into representing
let's say they're a
builders?
brand new agent and they've only been doing it for like 3 months. What would make them stand out when it comes to this?
So I personally probably, and I don't mean this negatively, but um, I recognize ambition and drive and performance, but really, to get to the point where you're working with someone who's doing volume business, you have to go out there and prove yourself with numbers. I mean,
Mhm.
and like I said, I catch on to drive and ambition and work ethic, and I see all of that. But it really just comes down to the numbers. If if you want to work with someone who's doing a lot of business, you have to prove to them that you're capable of doing that by, in my opinion, uh, having good numbers. And just like anything, you don't start out and just go straight to the top. You've got to gradually work your way there, and it's not easy. But as you create that track record over the years, you just become more and more reputable and marketable, and people just take more and more notice to you, and deals just start coming together more and more over the years.
So maybe, if you're a newer agent, maybe what you need to do is start trying to pick up some buyers to get
Or
attention.
yeah, but buyer, I think that's a great point. You bring buyers to a builder, and I guess
They're gonna be like,
I was
hey,
kind of thinking as representing a builder, but that's definitely how you catch their attention immediately, is if you start bringing buyers to them,
Well,
because that's very
yeah.
valuable.
Well, I think that could be a way in to become a listing agent for a buyer because that shows that you're bringing in clients They're
Exactly. So
trusting
yes,
you with the new construction,
I would
and that
say
could
that
even
would be the
be,
way to get in with the builders to consistently bring him buyers.
yeah, or even, I think even like volunteering to hold the houses open, to bring some buyers as well. Um, I mean, and if they are able to, I mean, potentially, if I know we've talked about representation on both sides, but if a realtor were to represent both sides and obviously both parties are in agreement that they're fine with this, that could be something where they lower their total fees when they cover both sides,
Yeah.
and therefore, saving the builder money and not having to pay two sides if that's the scenario, and if everybody is okay with that.
Yeah, and y'all will know better than me. I'm not a realtor, but whatever you can do to present value to a builder, that's what's going to catch their attention. And
Yeah.
I think a good point was bringing them buyers, offering to do things to help generate leads on their properties, whatever that might consist of. And that really comes back to ambition and drive. I mean, doing everything you can to get your foot in the door, and people will take notice to it.
Yeah. So what I'm hearing, I think consistently showing value or giving value to a builder
Hmm.
would maybe catch your attention.
Yeah, that'll catch anybody's attention.
So I had some, did you have any other like questions on that, Casey?
No, that was mine. I mean,
Okay.
well, one more. What makes you stand out amongst all the other
Honesty,
builders?
I would say, obviously, quality comes into play, but I think one of the biggest things that's helped me establish a good reputation is just treating people as I would want to be treated. Just being honest and having integrity, and I think that's been our most valuable. Um, it's just been very valuable to us to be honest and treat people fairly, and I think that's huge in the building world, solely due to the fact that they're
It'll give you referrals later on.
referrals, and
Mhm.
also there's a lot of dishonesty and there's a lot of crooked people in the construction world. So I think not only, well, for us, it's been a quality yet affordable product, but also we stand behind our work and say, if it's not something covered under warranty and someone has a problem 6 months down the road, um, we'll come back, and we don't have to do these things, but we'll come back and do these little things that people are asking for. And yeah, we just take care of the people who make our business what it is, which is our consumer base.
Yeah.
Because
And
let's be real, when people talk and they come into your house, one of the first things people ask is, "Who built this house?"
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to immediately, by their reactions, tell you if they had a good experience or horrible. If it was horrible, they're going to be like,
Immediately.
"Well, we got into it, but da 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 da," and they're going to name all the negative
Yeah.
first.
It's either going to be very negative or very positive, which over the years I've made mistakes, and I'm sure there's clients that don't like me, but I would say 90% of the people, 95% of the people we've worked with would vouch for us and what we stand for.
Well, I'll brag
But
on
you
you
can't
too.
please everybody.
I'll brag on you too because, like, you and I were just driving through random neighborhood in San Angelo, and you saw one of the houses that you've worked on, and saw that the siding was peeling, or I think it was like maybe the paint on the siding was peeling, and
It was a flip home. I know which home you're talking about, and it's so. there was a house that had, when we worked on it, and this was 3 or 4 years ago, we worked on the home, and we had done some vinyl patching. And anyways, I drove by there probably 2 years later, and I noticed the vinyl was starting to come off the house. The vinyl siding was, and I wasn't sure if it was a contractor error or if we had had a storm. But anyways, I ended up finding the homeowner's information and contacting them to get a little bit more info on what was going on with their siding. And they had told me just about a year after they had moved in, a windstorm had come through. Not enough that should have damaged the siding, but it did. So I just told them, hey, I can't keep driving past this home knowing that we worked on it and this is happening. I said, would y'all allow for me to come replace the siding on your home and repaint your house? And
That's awesome.
they said, yeah, that would be great. Well, as soon as I did that, I had 3 of their family members buy homes from us. So
See, it goes a long way.
yeah.
I love it.
Sorry, Rocky was stuck in his toy basket. He does this thing when he tries to get his toys out, and then he falls in head first and can't get his stuff out.
Oh my
Quick,
God.
I'm listening. 1 sec.
I think our dogs are, I can hear them scratching at the door too.
I feel like they're all talking to each other.
I know. They probably hear it. I'll wait for Collin to come back. So I've made kind of some list of just ideas for agents to maybe hook on some builders in their market. And Collin, just
first time agents need to listen to this. I feel like this would be a great place. It's answered a lot of the checkoff list questions I had when I first got into real estate.
Mm-hmm. And maybe as I'm talking about them, Collin, just let me know if you agree or disagree. We've already said some of them, like volunteering to hold open houses on their properties, offering photography, videography, drone footage, offering staging services potentially. And then I've even heard about some people offering their assistant to help with their building services, or like their transaction coordinator, just to kind of bridge that gap between contract to closing, and maybe to help the builder, offload some communication and administrative tasks. Also, showcasing how you market, maybe like showing some particular ads that you've done in the past that have been good for other homes that you've sold, if you haven't worked with builders. Social media standings, because the more people that see the home, the more eyes you have on it, the better. Let's see. I have some notes up. Another thing to keep in mind, I know you don't do big developments, Collin, but most builders aren't looking for a new real estate agent until they have new developments that they want to sell. So keeping track of new developments that are coming up, and then start hitting the builders up consistently, maybe like once a month, or just feeling out the relationship you have with them and how often that might be. Sending marketing reports on trends in new construction, even sending like market reports for the area. I know realtors post those a lot, but maybe you could have your own spin on it and give some insight into it. We said consistently is extremely important to builders. And even if they're working with a real estate agent, something might happen where they want to try someone new out, and you want to be next in line for a listing when the potential opportunity opens up. We already said show them ready-made examples of potential ad placements, like Facebook paid ads or Instagram paid ads. Yeah, and then I mean, I don't know, this didn't sound as important to you, Collin, but maybe emphasizing that you'll not only market the unit or the house that listed, but also their brand, and maybe have some storytelling behind, the stats of them as a builder, and maybe highlighting their reputation, which again helps your brand. let's see, having a package of services together for them and maybe, just have it all played out into one little booklet. I think might be impressive to you or to a builder if you know their building techniques and maybe what advantages that would give them in the market. Um, and then these aren't really like tactics, but I think mindsets for new agents or agents wanting to break into the new construction or representing a builder, it's all about providing value and serving, not like necessarily selling yourself to them. It's being a resource. It's coming from value and contribution,
Providing
and
value.
yeah, and showing them that it can be a win-win partnership with you between
Bringing
both.
something to the table, showing it's gonna be a two-way street.
Yeah, and I think like plan to play the long game. Like we said, be consistent and consistently show value. It's not necessarily going to happen overnight, but you want to be that next agent they think about when they do need someone. And I think it's being memorable, being confident, being easy to work with, and knowing what it takes.
Easy to work with is a huge one.
Yeah, knowing what a builder doesn't want to hear about, or a builder like not. I mean, again, it depends on the situation, but a builder's not gonna if they have a spec home they're building. It's probably important for you to know, representing the builder, that they're not going to want to hear about, or like it's managing customer expectations. Like if they come in, they're like, oh, do you think we could change the flooring or the countertops? And that's already in. Like you probably don't even want to entertain that, or like maybe set the expectations with the client that this is already done in the house and it can't be changed unless it's, something where the house needs to, like, still hasn't sold. I don't know. It really just depends. But knowing maybe the gripes that builders have and issues they have with clients potentially, or just scenarios that come up in new construction.
And it really comes back to setting that expectation up front too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Well,
Setting
and I
those
think,
boundaries.
Newer agent.
Uh-oh, I think he's cutting out.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can.
If you're a newer agent wanting to get into representing builders, I think the easiest way to go about it is set up a call. Hey, I don't want to take it, because most builders are pretty dang busy, and some are grumpy, some aren't. But you say, hey, I don't want to take up too much of your time, but here's what I can do for you. Will you give me the opportunity on one property to prove my value, and start small for them, execute it, and keep growing from there. Because they're not just going to, if you're not established, they're not just going to say, hey, here's 30 homes, go sell them. But you can create opportunity for yourself by going to a builder confidently and saying, hey, this is what I can do for you. This is how I can do it. And that's just like in any.
Dang, I think it's cutting out.
Yeah, I think it froze.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
turn off your Wi-Fi.
Okay.
Or stupid. We have like the worst internet. We're waiting for the fiber company to come to our area. You there, Colin?
Well, while he's figuring that out, does he have a website that you could put up?
I just turned my
No.
Wi-Fi back on. I think it
Oh,
should be good.
okay.
How is that?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yes, that's good.
Okay, but yeah, you really just, if you have the confidence in yourself, which you have to, what I can
Oh,
do
wow.
for you. This is how I'm going to do it. Love an opportunity. With myself, go prove yourself and gradually build a relationship, because it's not just going to be a hand me out overnight. Oh, here's 50 homes, go sell them. It's, hey, prove you will be rewarded as you I guess, prove yourself.
Love it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I put Collin's, he's at McCrory Homes, MCCRORY on Instagram. And then they're McCrory Homes on Facebook as well, just facebook.com/McCrory Homes. And then if you have a house that you're interested in selling, that, might be a fixer upper or something you need to sell very quick, I put their website also for you can input your information about your home, and they can come meet you and give you an offer on your home as well, like on the investment and flipping side. So what do you prefer, Collin?
I like
Maybe
that much.
Facebook?
What was that?
Do you prefer for people to contact you on Facebook, on McCrory Homes page, probably?
Oh, either or fake.
Gosh, well, I'm glad this is. I'm not
Glad
glad.
it waited to the end.
Yeah, I know it starts cutting out at the end. Well, I think unless anybody else has any other questions, we're up to the top of the hour. So, I hope this has been really valuable for agents out there. I don't think this is a topic that's talked about enough, but representing a builder or an investor who flips a lot can be very valuable for not only learning real estate, but also securing a good partner and securing a lot of listings coming in. And not only having, if you have a lot of listings with them, and it's also establishes your authority. You're able to pick up more buyers who want to work with that builder and go through you potentially. And another thing I just thought of too, if you don't have experience working with a builder and want to potentially, joining a team who has a lot of builder experience or represents builders, that could be helpful for you too, to get a foot in the door. So if you make that connection, you can back up and say, well, I don't have, all the experience myself, but I have a mentor or people on my team who can help me, with everything important that I need to know. So yeah. Thank you, Collin, for all your insight.
Thank you so
This
much.
is totally out of his
for sure.
wheelhouse. To
Hey,
come
you're
on.
supposed to do one thing uncomfortable every day. I say that every week.
Yes.
Well, next time
So
if
great
I
job,
get
Collin.
more than 24 hours heads up, I might prepare a little better.
No, it was good.
It was very good. So I've been wanting new builds, and I've been asking her for several months to bring you on here. So,
Well, I'll come back, but yeah, give me a week heads up next time, and we'll really get in depth. I just kind of walked in today, so sorry if I was vague. I just short notice.
no,
did what I could.
It was perfect. It was great. We really hit. You did awesome. So
Okay,
thank you.
good.
So
Well, I'm critical of myself, so.
And that's why you're good at what you do.
I know, truly. The
So
attention
if you're
to
not,
detail
then
for
you
a
don't
builder.
get to where you are in this world. So
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, we
I
will
think
be
the
back
dogs are
on
having like a whole
next Monday.
conversation.
Oh, sorry, Casey. What were you saying?
The dogs are having a whole conversation.
Yeah, mine are
amongst
barking at the door.
Yeah,
Oh, they're
and I think
hungry.
he's
Yeah.
responding.
Okay, bye, Rocky. And
He
thank
says
you guys so
bye.
much for coming on. We'll see you next week, next Monday at
Yeah.
5:30 Central Time, 6:30 Eastern Time.
That sounds great. Thank
Thanks,
you.
Alright.
guys.
Everybody have
See
a great
y'all.
week. We'll see you next week.
Bye,
Oh
Casey.
yeah, and happy MLK Day.
Yes, happy MLK. Martin Luther King.